Welcome to the world's best Facebook ads tutorial. It doesn't matter if your skill level is beginner or intermediate. By the end, you're going to be an expert. Today, we're going to cover exactly when you should use Facebook advertising and when it won't work, how to sign up to Facebook, a clear step-by-step of setting up ads, how to read the data in the ad account, the best ads that you should be using on Facebook, how to not get banned on Facebook, and most importantly, how to start running ads profitably so you can make lots of money. So you're probably wondering, why should you be listening to me? At the age of 23, I launched Facebook ads for my brand Calming Blankets, and I did over $10 million in sales in the first year. Since then, I've spent over $100 million on my own brands through Facebook ads. I'm going to run you through absolutely everything that I've learned and the new step-by-step instructions, because after the Apple privacy updates, all of the previous videos are outdated. I've also launched a completely free Shopify course with thousands and thousands of members. Gurus will charge you lots for this. If you want access to it, all you need to do is comment Facebook ads below and I'll send you the link. All right, let's get into the video. The first question I often get asked is who should be using Facebook ads? Well, it's perfect for most businesses. The best businesses that I see using Facebook ads include e-commerce businesses, marketing agencies, app businesses, and people trying to generate leads. It's also really good for small businesses trying to attract local customers. Now you're probably thinking, that's most of the economy, and that's true because Facebook actually owns Instagram, WhatsApp, and it has over 3 billion monthly active users. Yet that's over 1/3 of the world's population use it every single month. Because of all of that data that they have, they can target any ideal customer for any business. The other huge benefit of Facebook advertising compared to any other platform is your ability to rapidly test different types of ad creatives at very low budget and adjust accordingly. More on that later. So how does Facebook advertising work? It's basically a machine. I want to put $1 in to the machine and I want $2 to come out. To do this, we need to make sure that we have the correct settings and also the correct creatives within the ad account to get the best performance, because Facebook wants you to make money. However, if you give it the wrong settings and wrong creative, it just won't be able to do that for you. And that's what we're going to go over today. So next, we're going to set up the following in this order. We're going to set up a business manager, a Facebook and Instagram page. Then we're going to verify the domain, create a Facebook pixel. We're going to add a payment method, and we're going to create an ad account. So the first step is we need to go to business.facebook.com. This is where you can set up your business manager. You do not want to run Facebook ads from your personal account alone. You really want to set up a business manager because you're going to get less bans and you're going to have way more control with the settings that you have. So then we just need to click create account and we can use our Facebook details to set up a business manager. It's really important that you want to use a Facebook account that has been used before, hopefully over 6 months old. If it's not, make sure that you post on the Facebook every now and then to make Facebook think that you're a real person, because you are. The other thing that you really want to do is make sure that you make the name of the Facebook account exactly what matches on your passport, your license, and even your business registration documents if you have them. After you're in your business manager, make sure you come to business information and go to your legal name, your address, phone number, all of these kind of things, and make sure that they're accurate. You can even use their business verification status if you are a registered company. All of this stuff is going to signal to Facebook that you're a trusted user and will reduce the amount of times you get banned. One other thing that you should know about a business manager is you can come into this people section and you could add users to the account. Each user can have a different level of access, for example, admin access, and you need to be really careful about who you give that level of access to. And finally, make sure that you set up two-factor authentication, not only for yourself, but every single user on the platform to avoid yourself getting hacked. Because what will happen if you get hacked, then they will remove you as a user and they'll spend lots of money on your credit card. One tip with these users is add a really trusted second party as an admin in case your personal Facebook gets banned so you can still access your ad account. Next step is pages. Now, a lot of you may already have a Facebook page that you can simply click add and add the page by entering its name. Alternatively, if you don't have a page for your brand yet, you can simply click add and click create a new page. You can follow the prompts if you're using a brand or starting an agency. This is a very similar process for Instagram accounts. Simply click Instagram accounts, click add, and click connect your Instagram account. You'll be redirected to another browser where you simply just need to log in to your own Instagram. This is a really important step because it will now allow you to advertise through those pages that you've already created in the past. There's no point having multiple pages. If you're creating a new Facebook page from scratch, make sure you warm it up with a couple of posts, change the profile picture, change the name to something appropriate, because without this, you're just not going to get any results when we run ads. All right, the next step is we need to come to ad accounts, and then you can click add and click create new account. Now, when naming the ad account, this is simply for your organization. You would create a brand new ad account for every single either business that you launch, product that you launch on different brands, or even if you start advertising in a brand new region. For example, Oodie sells in Australia, but we'll have a different ad account for the US. This is mainly just an organizational and risk tolerance thing. Ensure that you select the correct time zone in the settings, because this is what you're going to be using for your internal reporting. Select the correct currency as well that you're actually selling your product in. This is because you're going to need the sales of the product that you're selling to pay these future bills. Make sure that you select that you are creating this ad account for yourself and click create. You can then add yourself to manage the ad account, click assign, and it should be ready to go. You will then be prompted to click add payment info. This is really important. You can select the currency again that you plan to sell with, and it's really important that you can't actually change this once you set it up. So make sure that you do it correctly. One trap that I often see people make when setting up Facebook ad accounts is they don't take their time. And Facebook in the early stages will limit how many business managers you can create and how many ad accounts you can create. So really take your time. Simply add your credit card details, click save, and you should be ready to run ads. Another payment processing tip that I have is do not use PayPal. I've seen a lot more people get their Facebook ad account banned using PayPal, and it's just extra risk. The other benefit is you can actually get credit card points or cash back using credit cards to really offset the costs. Oh, one more thing. Make sure that when you're filling out your credit card details, again, you take your time. I've seen people misfill their credit card details 3 times and get the ad account banned before it even got started. Now, we're almost done with our settings, but we need to come down to brand safety and click domains. We're going to click add domain, click create new domain, and just simply enter your website details. You'll then be prompted to copy and paste this meta tag in between the head and head tag on your website, which is super simple to find on all platforms like Shopify and Webflow. In Shopify, it's in the theme settings, and Webflow, you can see you can just click here and then paste the code. So now we've only got one more step before we can launch our campaigns and start making money. Are you still with me? We simply need to go into pixels. Now, if you come here at the moment, pixels has now moved to something called datasets. Don't worry, it's basically exactly the same as it always has been. You can click add, and then you can name your dataset, such as your Shopify store name or any of your agency name, and click create. This will then give you this little ID at the top right that you can copy and paste, and also open in an events manager to set up any type of tracking. Now, before I lose you, don't worry. If you're using something like Shopify, they made this way simpler and also way more effective. Shopify basically now shares all of its data from its purchases back to Facebook so you can track accordingly. So with this pixel, we don't actually need to copy and paste it into Shopify. So now all we need to do to link our ad account and our pixel to our Shopify store in the most effective way is come into Shopify, add Facebook as a channel, link the account by logging in, select all of the things that you've just set up and submit it. Now this pixel will be set up to track all kinds of things like page views, add to carts, and also purchases. If that doesn't make sense, trust me, I'm going to explain it in about a few minutes. I know that setting stuff is boring, but if you do not do that correctly, you may get very, very bad results or no results at all. Now's the fun stuff. We're going to set up our advertising campaign. This is where I'm going to show you all the special sauce, the stuff that I've learned over the years. First, we're going to start with the campaign. To get to the campaign, all we're going to do is come to our ad account and we're going to click Open in Ads Manager. This is going to be your home for the next 10 years as you print money. When you come into the Ads Manager, you're going to see that you've got 3 levels. You've got campaigns, ad sets, and ads. I'm going to get to each of them in a second, but let's start with the campaign. Click create and you're going to be prompted with a bunch of options that you can run with your campaign. Put simply, a campaign is simply the objective that you are trying to achieve with your business. Now you might think, I just want people to look at my product, but is that really what you want? Do you really just want to get website traffic or brand awareness? No, you actually want to create sales. So 99% of the time, you should be using this conversion sale objective for your business. This is because all of these other forms of traffic, Facebook has so much inventory, so much availability for it because it's so bad, it just doesn't create sales. So if I used something like an engagement or a lead campaign, I would get lots of activity, but 0 sales. And therefore I won't be able to spend as much on Facebook advertising and my business won't grow. So for an e-commerce example, that's what we're going to do today. We're going to click sales, then click continue. You're then going to be prompted to either use an Advantage Plus shopping campaign or a manual sales campaign. An Advantage Plus is basically giving Facebook the entire control for all of the other things that you're going to do later on in the ad set level. Just click manual for now because I want to show you the only other thing that's really important on the campaign level settings. So the first thing is we can label our campaign Advantage Plus and USA. I'll explain that in just a bit. Next, we've got the categories, which we can basically ignore. Then we've got this section, which is often pre-selected, which is use a catalog. We can turn this off for now because we can change this at the ad level. Then we've got an A/B test, which we do not need because we can test things in a different way. I'm going to show that really towards the end of the video. Then finally, we've got this Advantage campaign budget. I'm really glad that you're watching my video at the moment because a lot of people are teaching Facebook ads wrong since that iOS update. The annoying thing is I used to teach this old method as well and people are still watching those videos, but it has changed. You see, the old way that people used to run Facebook advertising is they would have a top of funnel, which would consist of lots of different interest-based targeting. Then they would have a middle of funnel, which would basically be retargeting people that have some level of certain awareness around your product. Maybe they went to the website, maybe they watched a video, and then you have bottom of funnel, which have people that have like basically already checked out or even purchased previously. The reason why I'm telling you this is because all of that is out of the window, and this Advantage Plus setting is basically all you need to target everyone across all of those stages. The exciting thing for you as the viewer, as a beginner or intermediate, is that Facebook advertising just got so much simpler because all you need to do now is set up one campaign and then introduce creatives to it in a unique way, and you can compete with some of the world's best Facebook advertisers. And that's Facebook's goal. They don't want to make these settings and small mistakes here mean that you can't perform. So the structure is going to be the following: one campaign at the moment, and the only time that you would create multiple different campaigns is if you have multiple offers or multiple different types of products, which is more advanced, and we can chat about that in a bit because I really want to start teaching you how to create an ad set. If that confused you, I promise you it's going to make a lot of sense in a second. We're going to click Advantage Plus on, and because we've clicked this now, we need to decide how much money we are going to spend on this campaign. I'm just going to leave it at $20 at the moment, but coming up next, I've got a full ROAS calculator and margin calculator, as well as how to set your daily budgets. So stay tuned for that. We can ignore this budget scheduling for now, and then we can click next. Now you might have not seen that transition, but we've actually gone from the campaigns to the ad set level now. You can also see that here. We've got our campaign name and then we've got our ad set level. Nothing we change within this is going to change the settings that we just set up prior. The ad set is where we're going to tell Facebook to advertise. First up, we've got this conversion, which we do want it on the website. The default is correct. Then we want the performance goal. Now, if you're running e-commerce, you probably want to do maximize value of conversions. Next, we want to select the pixel and make sure that it's correct. This is the one that we linked with Shopify. Then we click conversion event, and realistically, there should be these conversions API all set up. If there's not, you've got a wrong link with Shopify. We want to click on purchase because that's what we want to create. You can ignore ROAS goal for now. And in here, you can ignore these attribution settings for now. That is quite advanced. And we will chat about it towards the end. Dynamic creative is another thing that I'm going to explain, but it's going to have to be later in the video because I really want to get this campaign live. We can skip budget and schedule because we kind of set that up before. And now we've got audience controls. This is really important. The main thing is just making sure that you are advertising to the correct region. We can click edit and we can click right in United States, and you'll see this audience definition is increased, and now we are targeting the entire United States. When we're targeting such a large audience, this is what the industry calls broad. Because you're targeting such a broad audience, Facebook has so much flexibility to find your correct target customer. This is one of those things that changed when iOS privacy updates changed. Simply because Facebook has less data, so you want to give it as much optionality as possible. In this audience section, we can refine things like age, gender, and even add certain interests like pets or even like activities that they like to do. On the surface level, this sounds really effective because if I'm selling a pet product, I want someone that's interested in pets. But this is another thing that changed in the iOS update. Because Facebook knows less about the customers, this has become less reliable. And we would much rather give Facebook as much optionality as possible to find the right customer. So I want you to leave this all blank. This is officially a broad audience. And that's it. How easy was that? We basically set up our campaign and our ad set with very little effort. If you're becoming a little bit more advanced and starting to get sales, the one thing that we definitely do at the Oodie and a lot of other brands is we'll use exclusions. To do this, you click add exclusions. You can add certain lists such as your previous purchases. To find this, you can go to your email software, export your purchases and upload them to this exclusion list. This is because we don't really want Facebook to continually target our previous customers. We want them to find new customers as well. As I said, this is pretty advanced, and if you're just getting started out, we can ignore this for now. So now we can come to the ads level. Now, before we start this ad section, let me say that this is the most common place that people get Facebook advertising wrong. Because everything else is so simple nowadays in terms of setting up the business, advertising to basically everybody, and simply clicking Advantage Plus campaign, it all comes down to how good your creatives are and how you approach the creative framework that I'm about to talk about. So before I set up these ads, let's get into the masterclass of Facebook ad creatives. On the highest level, we've got the type of ads. So these include images, video ads, dynamic product ads, carousels, and collections. Images started out as one of the most popular formats, and then over the past 2 years, they haven't been performing. The interesting thing is, images are now a critical part to every single business manager. Then we've got videos. Even though images are coming back, probably 70% of your Facebook ad spend is going to be through videos. This is because videos allow you to communicate more marketing angles and capture more attention, which we're going to talk about next. Then you've got dynamic product ads. This is where we serve up the recent thing that people saw on the website, and it's much more like product imagery. Then we've got carousels, which is basically a series of images and videos. And finally, we've got collections, which is basically an in-platform experience. Truthfully, 90% of your budget, even more, is going to be images and video. Then on the second level, we've got the format of these ads. The first and the most popular at the moment is user-generated content, or UGC. Then we've got unboxing, we've got humor, memes also work, we've got influencer photos, customer photos, and graphics. User-generated content works incredibly well as a video ad. So you're probably wondering, why do these format of ads work when others don't? And this is because good ads follow the following principles. First, they explain the unique selling proposition of the product. Second, they're able to educate or entertain the customer, which Facebook will then be able to serve to more customers because it's a good experience on the platform. Thirdly, they have a great offer and urgency as well. And finally, the last two is what I see a lot of newbies get wrong. They either run a pixelated product image or they just run a really boring ad. The format of ads that I was just talking about, like user-generated content, is able to communicate a lot of education, and the customers are able to see themselves within that video and therefore understand that it is relevant for them. Then they can purchase because they trust the user-generated content. Compare this to a product image that is really boring, doesn't educate, doesn't entertain. So how do you find really good ads without wasting a lot of money? The best place that you can find example ads is simply go to app.trendrocket.io. You can sign up for an account and I will leave a description in this video. Simply go to the ad section and then all you need to do is write in your favorite brand or niche. For example, I can write in coffee. Now I've got a bunch of inactive and active ads that I can look at. What we're looking for is the format of ads that tick all of the criteria that I just talked about. Here we've got a great graphic campaign that talks with an offer and to create some urgency. Here we've got an awesome user-generated content video. One final tip that I have for ad creatives is simply going to either your negative reviews or your positive reviews or a competitor's negative reviews and simply use their main objection in the very first sentence and film a video. This is called objection advertising. So for example, let's say you're trying to make coffee cheaper for the masses. You would obviously see negative reviews on expensive coffee shops. Then you can go, people say coffee is too expensive. You can just record an iPhone video. My brand solves this by this. That will crush 80% of the time. So you're probably wondering, how many ads do I actually need to get started? And you probably want to get 3 to 5 ads. You definitely want at least 2 video ads. And because images are so easy to create in Canva at the moment, when you can pay just a designer in the Philippines, try to get at least 2 image ads as well. The next step is we simply come into our ads manager and we go into the ads level. Remember, we've set up the campaign level, we've set up the ad set level. Now it's time to set up our first ever ad. Now, unlike the campaign level and the broad ad set level, we're going to actually create multiple ads. So for this ad, we can do ad 1, and you can just label that something simple that you will remember what that type of ad is. Then we select the correct page that we're going to use and select the correct Instagram account that we're going to use and click create ad. Now, you really want to make sure that you've got manual upload and you've got single image or video. We can simply click add media, add video, upload it. The preview of the ad should appear on the right hand side. We can then scroll down and now we've got to input the text of the ad. Now, very similar to what I was talking about before. Good copy should educate, explain unique selling proposition, have an offer and urgency, and are not boring. If you want to use ChatGPT for this, simply give it your unique selling propositions and ask it to create headlines and also body text. Once you've added the headline and primary text, then you just need to go down and you click into add website, enter your URL and click public. This will then take a while to approve. This is now going through all of Facebook's filters. If you've used bad language or you've called out bad attributes of people, then there is a chance that it's not going to get approved. This doesn't mean that your ad account is going to get banned, but it's not a great start. This is why I suggest being really PG initially and slowly warming up your ad account with less provocative language and ads. This is especially the case if you're running fitness offers. To create a second ad within that ad set, because remember, we want to run 3 to 5 ads when initially testing. We click quickly duplicate, and now we can simply change this creative by clicking remove all and uploading a new video. We can decide whether we want to keep this text consistent or tweak it so that we can get a different result, or change it to get an even more different result. This is probably the perfect time to talk about testing frameworks and how to define your budget. Let's start with defining your budget. To define your initial budget, there are a few things that you need to know. I recommend if you're a beginner, you want to start with your daily budget on the campaign level with about 10 to 30% of your product sale price. This means that if I'm selling something worth $100, I'd want to be spending $10 to $30 a day initially. How long do we spend that before we can make any decisions? On the creative level, so you're introducing 5 creatives. We really want to make sure that we've spent at least 2 times our average order value or the sale price of our product before we make any decisions with it. This is to prevent you from creating a creative that may work and you introduce it to Facebook and then you're trying to get some sales and it spends $3, $5 and you're like, nah, this isn't working. By allowing us to spend, $200 for a $100 product on that creative, we can definitively rule out that it is not a good creative and turn it off. Another thing you need to consider here is the buying journey for your product. If you're selling furniture, it might take a couple of weeks for them to make the decision, months even. Whereas if you're selling an impulse purchase, people might buy it quickly. So be patient here. If you've created amazing creators with my framework, then chances are they should be able to work. So now let's say that you've got 3 to 5 creatives working and you're getting some sales. How do you increase the sales of this ad account? It's simple. You're going to introduce new creatives into this existing campaign structure that you've added. So I'm going to create 2 to 3 new creatives and I'm going to upload them into the ad set. If you're spending very, very small amounts, you might just want to introduce 1 creative at a time. This is a great opportunity for you to introduce very, very different creatives over time. For example, if I'm selling Oodies to boyfriends that are buying a gift for their girlfriends, maybe I want to create a brand new creative, Oodies for grandmas. By introducing these new creatives and by having our really broad targeting that we set up before, Facebook is able to run both of these ads and expand the amount of customers that we can actually capture. Whereas if I created a brand new creative that was targeting the exact same boyfriends, then they're probably going to cannibalize each other. And that's the beauty of the structure that we just set up. So to recap, we add this 1 creative, we let it spend for 2 times the average order value, and if there's no sales, you kill it and you introduce another creative. Now, if that's feeling a little bit technical, I'm gonna walk you through it. But first, we need to be able to see what results are actually popping up in our platform. And to do this, we need to customize our table. To read the results, we need to use the table settings. So when you're in your ad section, make sure that you've got an appropriate time selected where the ads were actually running. Then what you need to do is come into here and click Customize Columns. You can delete all of these defaults because I'm going to give you every single one right now. You can follow along with me. First, we've got delivery. Then attributing settings. Date created, bid strategy, budget, amount spent, purchases. You want total and cost, and make sure you can deselect all of these. Then you want ROAS. Then you want to go to add to cart, and you want total and cost. Remember to deselect all of these options. Don't worry, we're almost there. We want to go to outbound clicks, outbound click-through rate, cost per outbound click, CPM, reach, impressions, and video average playtime. The other thing we can do if you want to get really advanced is click Create Custom Metric, and we can add the conversion rate, which equals purchases divided by outbound click. And you want to make this a percentage. And you can also add average order value, which will be a currency. And this equals the purchase conversion value divided by purchases. We can select both of them. We can save this as a preset, Davie's columns, and click apply. Now, whenever we want to find all of these settings, all we need to do is come into this section and click Davie's columns. So now you have a really advanced view on what ads are working. We can click on any of these above here to filter by amount spent or even return on ad spend. This will allow you to use our formula that we had before. Let's say we're selling this product for $100 and this creative here had spent $200 but had 0 purchases as it does now, and it also had an unprofitable return on ad spend, then we would turn this creative off and introduce another one. We don't have to turn a creative off to introduce another one if they're all performing, but we do want to make sure that all unprofitable ads are turned off as quickly as possible after they've had enough spend. Now I can hear you yelling at me. What is a profitable return on ad spend? Or what even is return on ad spend? Return on ad spend is if you put $1 in and you get $2 back, that's 2 return on ad spend. So for example, if I spend $50 and get $100 back, that is also 2 return on ad spend. Now your target return on ad spend and what is a profitable return on ad spend will depend largely on your business and your product. Some businesses will have different return on ad spends for different products. And this is because it's all about the margin. To make this really simple for you, as part of my free Shopify course, I've created this profit calculator. In this calculator, we can see the sale price of our product and we can input this. All of these yellow things require input. So let's say we're selling a product for $180. We know that if we spend $90 to acquire a customer, which is, by the way, on this column here, which is currently at $44, if that was at $90, we would know that that would create a 2 return on ad spend, and we would make a net profit of $49.50 per product. Let's just say that I was going to spend $120 to acquire a customer. Now we've only got $19 of profit. So I know that if I'm getting down to 1.5 ROAS within my ad account in this metric, that I am only making $19.50 every single customer that I get. Now, here's where it gets interesting. If I get a customer acquisition cost of $150 at a 1.2 ROAS, I am now losing $10.50 per product that I sell, which is now an unprofitable business. So realistically, if I want to make, 30% net profit, 20% net profit in this business, I want to be making sure that I have a target ROAS of 2 here so that I can make a healthy profit. Once you've calculated this is basically what you do every single day. You're manipulating these columns so that this bottom number here comes out at your target return on ad spend so that you know that you're profitable. One thing I highly recommend is using the free plan of Triple Wow. I'll leave a link in the description, as well as an affiliate code if you want to get the paid plan. But the free plan is enough that you can track all of your advertising platforms and track your daily profit on a daily basis. I discuss this also in my free Shopify e-commerce course. One of the main reasons that you want to use the Triple Wow dashboard is because since those privacy updates, this return on ad spend within Facebook can be quite wrong. You might notice this when your Shopify store has $5,000 worth of sales, but it's only saying that you've actually got, $3,000 or $4,000 worth of sales in your Facebook ad account. This is because Facebook hasn't picked up on the sales that it's created, or the sales are coming from somewhere else, like word of mouth. This is why using a holistic view called MER, which is all of your marketing channels, including Google, and just comparing that to revenue is a great way to understand how much more you can spend on Facebook. So now you're an advanced Facebook media buyer. What do you do on a daily basis to maintain the ad account and grow your business? A Facebook media buyer gets up at 4 a.m., has an ice bath, and then they log onto the Facebook ad account straight away. First of all, they check the overall performance. How much did they spend the day before? How much money did they make? And are they profitable? And this is where Triple Wow is really good, or any profit tracking dashboard. Next, that makes them decide, do I want to increase my Advantage Plus campaign budget? Now, you don't want to scale it up too quickly. You can scale up 10 to 30% a day. Next, a Facebook advertiser will come into the ad section and they will turn off underperforming ads. These are ads that have had an allocated amount of spend, but they're not hitting the targets. Next, they might introduce 1 to 3 new creatives to their existing scaling campaign. Finally, they might go onto TrendRocket or any advertising library and pitch new creative ideas to a creative team or UGC creator. If you're still not getting results after all of this, it's either your product or your website looks really bad, make sure you check out my other videos to understand how to create an awesome website. Don't forget to subscribe to our free e-commerce course. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Peace.